Hey guys, we are now on Unit 4, and that is System of Equations and Inequalities. No problem, because we solved equations in Unit 1, so some of this was going to be reviewed, some of it's going to be new. But let's just start with this. We're going to start with A.3F, and that is graph systems of two linear equations in two variables on the coordinate plane, and determine the solutions if they exist. Okay, and the first thing that we're going to do it with, like it says here, is we're going to do it through graphing. So let's talk about a couple of things. So definitions. Systems of equations. This is when you have more than one equation with the same variables. And the second is solution to a system. And that is where the lines intersect. Okay. Now here's our steps. Steps to solve a system by graphing. Number 1, make sure all equations are in the slope-intercept form. That is y equals mx plus b. Number 2, graph the equations. And you can do that with the calculator. Right now I'm showing you how to do this by hand. And number 3, find where they intersect. The ordered pair of the intersect is the solution. Okay. So here's the first example. So example 1, solve the system. And it's usually written kind of like this. So we have 2x plus y equals 6. Then we have negative x plus y equals 3. And now we can solve these. First, like up here, it says we need to make sure all equations are in y equals mx plus b. So I'm going to rewrite them over here. 2x plus y equals 6. And even if we weren't doing this by hand, if we were using the calculator, you would still need to do this part. And then we have negative x plus y equals 3. So I'm going to move the 2x here. If I do it there, I got to do it here. So now I have y equals 6 minus 2x. Let's do on this side. I'm going to move the x by adding an x. If I do it there, I do it here. And now I have y equals 3 plus x. So on this side, I know my slope is m equals negative 2, and I know my y-intercept is 6. On this side, I know my slope is 1, and my y-intercept is 3. So now I can graph that. Let's put some graph paper over here. So we'll use this here. So I'm going to draw the plane, and I have my y here and my x here. And now I'm going to graph this equation. I'll graph this one first. And I can see that my slope is negative 2. So this would be negative 2 over 1. And I know my y-intercept is 6. So therefore, I have a point at z when x is 0, y is 6. So 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6. So I know I have a point here, and I know my slope is negative 2 over 1. So I'm going to go down to, let me use a different pen. So I'll go down 2 over 1. Down 2 over 1. Down 2 over 1. And now we have a nice line. And we've graphed our first line. So let's draw the line. And now I'm going to graph the second one. So we know the y-intercept is 3. 1, 2, 3. I'll put that point here. And then I'll go on and use blue for this line. So I know my slope is a positive 1. So I'm going to go up 1 over 1. Up 1 over 1. Up 1 over 1. So there's my line for my second equation. And I can see that our point of intersection is right here. So I know the solution to this equation is when x is 1 over 1 and up 1, 2, 3, 4. Up 4. So that is how to do this by graphing. Okay, I'll tape that later. Let's go to another page. So I want to show you a couple other things. Let's just do another one. So let's have another example. So example number 2. Solve the system. and we have y equals 2x minus 2, and then we also have 3y plus 6x equals 18. So we know the first equation is already in y equals mx plus b. Y equals 2x minus 2. So we know our slope is 2, and we know our y-intercept is negative 2. Now the second one we need to change, and so I'm going to rewrite it here. 3y plus 6x equals 18. And I'm going to move the 6x over, so that gives me negative 6x here, or minus 6x on that side, minus 6x on that side. 3y equals 18 minus 6x. Now I need to divide everything by 3. And now I have y equals 6 minus 2x. Therefore, our slope is negative 2, and our y-intercept is 6. So let's draw this one. Let's solve this system of equations. Okay. I'll put this here, and I'll draw it like this. Here's our line. Okay, and I know on the first one I have the y-intercept is going to be 0, negative 2. So 0, negative 2 is the y-intercept, and I know my slope is a positive 2 over 1. So I'm going to go up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. Therefore, I have my slope of the line here for our first equation. Okay. Now for the second one, I know my y-intercept is 6, so I know x is 0 and y is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I know my slope is negative, so I'm going to go down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1. And I can see where my intersection is. Which is right here. Here is my solution when x is 1 and y is 2. That's the solution to the equation, to the system, I mean. Okay, so the solution is 1, 2. Sometimes there are systems that don't have a solution, and we did this in Unit 1. We have special systems. And that means if you solve by graphing and you get, like number 1, here's a special system. Let's say you get something like this. Let's say you get parallel lines. That means there's no solution because they never touch. They never intersect. Okay, in the second one, if you graph the system of equations and you get one line, let's say you just get this. That means it has infinite solutions. And that means they are the same line so they intersect everywhere.